Hi guys, it's time for Coffee at Luke's. Let's dive right into episode 5 of season 1, Cinnamon's Wake. All right guys, so here we go. We are on episode 5. It's all about Cinnamon's. Hello. It is all about Cinnamon's wake and just seeing you guys. There are definitely scenes in this one that broke my heart. So let's just dive right into it. You guys know I always start out by giving you guys the Netflix little synopsis of the episode. So Lorelai admits she has feelings for someone. Meanwhile, Rory has a budding relationship of her own that is moving forward. That's all it lists. It doesn't even mention Cinnamon's Wake or anything like that. So that's a little weird. This one first aired November 2nd of 2000. It was written by Daniel Palladino, who is married to the creator of the show, Amy Sherman Palladino, or as we call her, ASP. And then this one is directed by Michael Cattleman. So, next I'm going to give you the synopsis from, we always reference this as the Bible here, but it is the Gilmore Girls Companion by A.S. Berman. I love this book. It literally gives you so much facts and goes through each episode. And like I said, I always have this with me as I'm watching the shows. So I'm gonna read you the synopsis that they do. They definitely dig a little bit deeper and give you a little bit more. It says Max manages to get Lorelai to meet him for coffee or a pre-date, and Rory chats up Dean at his new job at Dosey's Market. Already ailing, Maury and Babette's cat Cinnamon, who was first mentioned in episode 3 of season 1, subdues to the inevitable after some clams at Al's Pancake World. The resulting wake postpones Lorelai and Max's first date, but prompts Rory to tell Dean she's interested in him before she runs away. So here we go, guys. Let's just start. The episode starts with dinner at the Gilmores, and we find out cousin Claudia has died. Never heard this before. Don't know anything about cousin Claudia. Lorelai doesn't even remember cousin Claudia, but she has died. So Lorelai has said that she cannot go to the wake, which I don't blame her. You don't know her, maybe send a nice little note, and that's about it. We see Lane is in Rory's room dancing after or as Lorelai calls it, skanking to Rancid. Rancid is the band. The song is actually called Time Bomb. That song will be brought up again in future episodes. I actually really like that song. That's one that I really like from them. So, and like I said, we'll definitely hear that song again. Rory has reminded Lorelai of the Chilton bake sale, that she needs to bring something, and that they actually expect it to be homemade, not bought. As Lorelai says, she's got it covered, and boy does she have it covered. Next, we see Babette and Maury pulling Cinnamon in the cat's little wagon. You guys, that is so cute. That is the cutest little family. I love Babette and Maury. Maury's this big, tall, cool, kind of got that jazz swagger about him. And then you have Babette, this just little, they're like Mutt and Jeff, height-wise. But she's this loud, boisterous, kind of in-your-face person. And he's more laid back. And you guys, I just love them. They are complete opposites, but they just go together like they're supposed to go together, and I love it. And as I'm going to butcher this word, but I'm really going to try. It's a passeggiatas, which means Italian for a long walk. I love that. So they wanted to take their little cat Cinnamon out for her evening passeggiatas. Then we see Rory getting on the bus for school, and we see that Dean decides to get up on the bus just so he can have a few minutes to talk to Rory. He actually calls her Lorelai because she did tell him in episode 1 that her name was Lorelai Gilmore, and she goes by Rory, but he decides to call her Lorelai Gilmore. And like I said, you don't hear that very often when we're talking about Rory. You sometimes forget her name is Lorelai too. So. And then we have Michelle speaking to the French businessman and trying to avoid speaking to them is really what it was. He is from Texas. I love that. Then we have the bake sale, and Suki has outdone herself as always. I think they had, 3 tables or at least 2 tables of all these different foods and just amazingness. But whoever gave Suki the blowtorch should be shot. That you never give an accident prone person anything that has to do with fire or anything like that. But yeah, definitely their table was probably voted one of the best, and I bet they sold out of all their stuff. I can tell you that. But then we have Max Medina coming in, trying to talk to Lorelai. First, he kind of had to, apologize or, state his case for why he had to, kind of take. It is his job, after all, to follow the rules of Chilton, and that meant not letting Rory take the test, which was in the last episode. So, but Lorelai did decide to see him for coffee as a pre-date to see if they are even compatible or something that she wants to pursue. So that was very cute. Next we see Lane and Rory walking down the road, and they found Maury and Babette, and you hear this cat just make this awful noise, and they said Cinnamon's dyspeptic. I don't know what that word meant, dyspeptic, but it's of or having indigestion or a constant irritability or depression. So that's what that word meant. I looked it up for you. But one thing we learned is don't have the clams at Al's, and especially if you have a coupon, don't do it. Which Al's Pancake World, he does not serve pancakes. It is a international cuisine, if you will. I have a little magnet of Al's here that I got from the Lit Cube box. So there's my little Al's Pancake World. As you can see, he does not serve pancakes. So I love that little Chinese international cuisine. So that's Al's Pancake World. Rory goes into the market to look at him and then chat with Dean. You can definitely tell she's very flustered. She just wants to kind of spy on him. And, we've all done that as kids. You have that crush and you want to, you want him to see you, but you don't want him to see you looking at him. And you guys know, we've all done that. She runs into Miss Patty. And Miss Patty's famous line, I love this line, is, "Try a plum, they're better than sex." I just love that line. I love it. This is the first time we see Kirk as Kirk. So he actually says his name is Kirk. This is going on to the job count for my boy Kirk here. Yet another job to add to the poll, which is assistant manager of Dosey's. You guys know on the Facebook page, Coffee at Luke's, I have been keeping a little running kind of tab of all the different jobs that Kirk has had, I think we're up to maybe 3 or 4 now. He was the Swan delivery man. He was the DSL installer. And now we have assistant manager of Dosey's Markets. Max and Lorelai meeting for coffee. He convinces her to go out on a date with him. He shares this very charming story of his uncle. And you don't know if it's real or not, but you can definitely see the chemistry between these two people. So obviously, he gets her to agree to the date. And I like to see Lorelai happy. I think that's the thing. I don't know if I necessarily like Max, but I like to see Lorelai happy. And that's where I'm like, oh, that's sweet. I'm not a Max fan, but I'm just glad Lorelai's happy. Okay? Suki goes behind the counter at Luke's and she starts garnishing plates and, adding different things. She adds some cayenne or some, paprika and a little bit of lemon juice to something. And, nobody goes behind the counter at Luke's. You guys know that. But Suki, had to bring out her little creative chef side. And, of course, and then that's when Luke kind of pushed her off to the side and told him, get out of his space. That's his space. Cinnamon the cat has died. You guys, that is very sad. I love it says in human years she was 206 or 260 years old. I googled that because the first, what did they say? What did Google say? The first 2 years of a cat's life is the equivalent to being 25 years old in a human life. And then every year after that, you're supposed to add 4 years. Okay, so you start at 25, and then we kept adding. The cat would be 61 years old. There's no way that cat is 61 years old. I get what they were doing, but to say she would have been 260 equivalent years to a human makes her 61 years old. Little much. They have a wake for Cinnamon. Obviously, if you guys are dog lovers or animal lovers or have family pets, you guys know they are like family. completely can understand her having this wake for Cinnamon. That was their baby. You know, that was Babette's and Maury's baby. And I so agree. I would probably do the exact same thing. So I can highly see what they were coming, or what their thought process was with that. You see Luke and Suki both show up with food, obviously totally different. You know, Suki's got this whole gourmet stuff and it's all planned out and she wants to create a flow. Luke just takes a bag, drops it, and says, "Come and get it." And that's what they do. Rory sees Max show up at their house next door. When Lorelai, she then asks Lorelai what's going on, and that's when Lorelai has to finally come clean and say that she had the date with the teacher. Obviously, Rory was not ready for that answer because she knew nothing of it. Definitely set her back, but I also think that's what gave her the courage to go and tell Dean that she was interested, and I love that. You know, we're all geeky little teens at one time and very nervous to speak around boys or girls or whatever it is, and I just love, you know, yes, I like you and goodbye kind of thing. So Maury starts playing this beautiful song on the piano and everybody's kind of crowded around, and that's how it should be. They're a family in Stars Hollow, and I love that they're always there for each other. So that was very sweet and touching. And then Lorelai gets into trouble from her mom because she said she went to the cat's wake, but she couldn't go to her own cousin's wake. Yeah, you kind of got to tread lightly on that one. And then Rory, like I said, finally gives Lorelai the okay to date Max. She gives her blessing and tells her to go ahead, kind of thing. Let's dive into what it says here from the Bible right here. It says that Kirk is, like I said, now officially Kirk. Before he was Mick the first time in the second episode he was in, he didn't even have a name. So yes, now he is officially Kirk. This one I thought, it says Dean's borderline stalking of Rory on the bus telegraphs Dean's future inability to let go of her even after he gets married. That is very, very true, and you guys will see that as it keeps going. But it says, clutching at straws to come up with some reasons they shouldn't date, Lorelai tells Max that she wants to be in the Bengals, but that doesn't mean she gets to quit her job and get a guitar and ruin her life to be a Bengal, does it? Max points out that the Bengals broke up, which is, though technically true, is negated with a reunion concert. Rory, in a little bit later episode, the Bengals are brought up again and it shows how they're back together. So it's just kind of funny that they point that out, how yeah, they brought that up, but yeah, that's not true. So that's about all for that one. This is a very short episode. Like I said, we didn't have much. We didn't have the grandfather. We had a Friday night dinner, but it was so small. It was like just the little opening scene right there, so we didn't really have much. There was no recipe to speak of in this one either. So it's one of those that, you know, it gets a lot of stuff started. The whole Max and Lorelai, the whole Dean and Rory stuff. It gets it started, gets the flow going, but there's just not a lot going on in this episode. At least I felt that way. So, like I said, this first season has a lot of my least favorite episodes in it, just because I understand you have to build up these characters, you have to build their backstory, you have to get invested. But because I've seen it so much and I'm already invested, it's really hard for me to go back and watch these other episodes. But there is so much that we get from these. Such foundation is laid in this first season, and they always keep circling it back. And I love that about this show. That's one thing I love. Like I said, if they mention something or something, it's brought back up many, many times, or it comes full circle. And that's one thing I love about this. So, like I said, guys, come back. We do this every Thursday. I post a video talking about the episode. I do throw in bonus episodes of like my Stars Hollow monthly box, or I'm going to start doing single episodes all on like one of the, you know, we'll talk about Lauren Graham, who plays Lorelai one time, or we'll talk about, you know, Alexis Bledel, who plays Rory, and I want to do a whole kind of things you didn't know about her, or, you know, that kind of thing. So I'll be starting to get those going here pretty soon too. Like I said, guys, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to this channel. Like I said, if you like Gilmore Girls, or you want to just, or you're, you know, looking for that new show to watch, you know, I highly recommend dig into Gilmore Girls, you guys. It's so good. It's so much fun. You know, Guys love it. I've had guy friends that just love this show. I know girls that love it. Mother and daughters can watch it together. That's how me and my daughter obviously did. But, I've even got my 75-year-old father to watch this show. I mean, it can literally reach out and speak to anybody. So give it a shot, guys. Subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you at least next Thursday for another Coffee at Luke's to watch the next episode. Bye, guys.